Truth is rare and usually problematic when spoken freely and clearly. As Juan Williams learned sadly at National Public Radio, truthful speech can be a fireable offense. But that just means NPR falls short of the standard toward which Juan Williams aims, truth, and which has made his journalism career something to be honored. Juan Williams is better than NPR. But what do truth and speech have to do with politics? A subject near and dear to me and to Juan Williams and to almost everyone in this room. I will let three of my teachers answer: Abraham Lincoln, Thomas Jefferson, and Aristotle. In an unusual lecture on discoveries and inventions, after discussing the benefits of various technological advances throughout history, Lincoln argued that of all discoveries and inventions, the greatest by far was language. First was speech, the articulate sounds rattled off from the tongue. But speech alone, as valuable as it was and remains, has not much advanced the condition of the world. Writing, what Lincoln described as, quote, the art of communicating thoughts to the mind through the eye, is the greatest invention of the world. Only writing, Lincoln argued, enables us to converse with the dead, the absent, the unborn, at all distances of time and space. The combination, then, of speaking and writing, exchanging thoughts with other minds, cutting across time and space, is what allows man, and man alone, to pursue truth. This is the deeper meaning of Aristotle's famous argument that man alone is the political animal, because man alone possesses logos. In the original Greek, logos meant reason, logic, but also articulate speech. Man alone can speak about, and therefore argue about, what is just, what is right, what is true. Politics is what we call it when men and women come together and talk and argue and fight about these high matters. Politics is the quintessential human activity. It is our noblest capacity because it allows us to witness what nobility is. Have you ever noticed that all of Shakespeare's greatest plays are staged in political settings? If not for the human capacity of speech and the pursuit of truth, there could be no politics. And where politics is taken seriously, even amidst the rancor of heated arguments and debates, truth can emerge so long as we keep talking. Politics, government, does not have to be the enemy of truth. If we have the courage to be honest, politics can provide a forum for the discovery of truth. Should we forget this higher view of politics, the alternative is cynicism, which is maybe our greatest challenge today, that we've become too cynical to believe anything said or written in the realm of politics and government, and instead we believe nothing. But let us back away from that cynical nihilism, and let us recall a higher political view. Let us recall a view summed up by that great American Thomas Jefferson, who said, the whole art of government consists in the art of being honest. Ladies and gentlemen, a man who has devoted himself to speaking and writing honestly about difficult political matters in the pursuit of truth and for the benefit of good government, courageously, even when he disagrees with his friends and sometimes his employers, sometimes at significant personal and professional cost. I'm honored to present to you Mr. Juan Williams.
We live in a moment when debate, when dealing with political realities, can be so polarizing in our society. And it's so critical a need to have that debate. And yet you find that people are reluctant to take the risk of listening, hearing each other out, working towards broader compromise in the spirit of doing what's best for our nation, doing what's best for America. I'm reminded of a wonderful quote that comes from one of our founding fathers, George Washington. George Washington, in the midst of fighting for our nation, said, quote, "For if men are to be precluded from offering their sentiments over any matter which may involve the most serious and alarming of consequences, then reason is of no use to us." George Washington said that in 1783 in an address to military officers in Newburgh, New York. But it applies to the world we live in today, a world in which people will punish you, ostracize you, tell you to shut up, silence you, for saying whatever they believe to be right and what they take you saying to be wrong. And I know this story quite personally and painfully, because of what happened to me at National Public Radio. And we as Americans who believe and trust in each other have to be strong enough to say, you know what? I want to have an honest discussion. I want to hear what you have to say. I respect you. You may belong to a different party. You may come from a different part of the country. You may have different ideas. You may be younger, you may be older. But I want to hear about your experience. I'm not content to just listen to people who are of like mind. I don't want to hear stories that simply confirm my pre-existing point of view. I want what's best for my country, and if anybody has a good idea, I want to raise my hand and help that person to put that idea into action so that we can solve issues, so that the Congress that we've seen just over the last few days absolutely paralyzed, absolutely going through political theater when our country's economy is at risk, so that we can say that that's not the way we want America to be. That there are times when we may not get 100% of all that we're calling for and all that we dream, but we understand that the art of politics is also the art of compromise. That we have to get things done and we have to work together. You know, I once wrote a book about the civil rights movement in this country. It's called Eyes on the Prize, America's Civil Rights Years. And when I wrote the book, so many people came up to me and they'd say, "Where'd you get that title from?" And I said, well, it came from an old gospel song. And the gospel song, I can't sing, but it goes something like this. Keep your eyes on the prize, hold on, hold on. I know the one thing I did right was the day I started to fight, hold on. And what I'm saying to all of you at this conference, as we talk about what's right and what's wrong and how to fix it, is that we have to have a clear sense that where the fixing begins is in a willingness to not only stand up for our principles, but to stand up in such a way as to put those principles into action. And the action includes hearing the other side, supporting people who have different points of view, allowing those points of view to be fully aired without fear, because you know what? I believe in my point of view too. And I believe that if we go back and forth, if we have genuine intellectual exchange, we will be stronger. We will prevail against any terrorist, against any enemy. We will remain a beacon for democratic principles to the world. And we can stand up and say together, thank God, we're Americans. Thank you very much.